Hey guys, I'm Eliza and welcome to another vlog. Today I just wanted to chat about some things about changing us, changing our lives, just some everyday kind of points and observations I guess I've made through my growing up experience, but I just wanted to share that with you guys today. There's a great difference between changing you and changing the way you go about your everyday sort of life. I used to envy people who had their shit together. I used to I mean, I couldn't comprehend how they deserved it, and I guess they deserved happiness more than I did. I started to question myself, like, why? What am I doing wrong? Am I doing this whole life thing right? But I guess the thing that I found is that happiness is a state of mind. Telling yourself you're happy doesn't automatically flick a switch and just change everything and make you feel better. Unfortunately. Trust me, I have tried. I've tried putting my good vibes out there and patiently waiting for the universe to just bring me my dream job or whatever else I want at the time. And of course, even though I've been patient, it just hasn't happened for me. I think happiness requires a little bit of work and also a little bit of open-mindedness. Open-mindedness, I think, is what I'm trying to say. On top of that, it also includes being the real you, the authentic you. Happiness starts with the soul. Trust me, don't worry, I'm not religious, but the soul, just you know, everything of you, the mind, everything. Just, it starts with you. You can call me a hippie, but if you haven't had the chance to get to know yourself in a while, I strongly recommend that you do this. This is the kind of bit of work I was talking about earlier, and I've said this in previous videos, that sometimes it does take hard work and difficult times to get to where you want to go. It can be surprisingly difficult to define ourselves and who we are as a person. Sometimes even the people who are closest to us tend to know us better than ourselves. I think a lot of it has to do with just being so blinded or in this bubble of like doing the same thing that we've always done, our learned behaviours that unless you do something about them, they kind of stick with us growing up and all the way through adulthood. And sometimes by doing this, we don't regularly check in on ourselves. We're not constantly reflecting. I'd like to argue I do a little bit. But I find that I never used to, and it is a problem where people don't really sit back and go, oh, I actually think this about this, and I would do this in this situation, and if I actually think about it, I'd really enjoy doing this in my free time. These are all important things. Like, we need to constantly check, because we are constantly changing. We're always changing. It's also sometimes hard to know what we value and what we actually want out of life. First, figure out your values. Second, the sooner you do this is probably the better. And 3, do not compromise your values. Do not compromise who you are. These values are the foundations of you, and whatever reason they're there. And to compromise them is to compromise you as a person, and no, not having it. I don't think there's a simple answer or like a mathematical equation for happiness, and everybody's different, but I think there are a lot of different ways to be happy. In my constant search for happiness, you know, it took me a while, but then I realised that my values are pretty much the starting point for that journey. I had to work out what was most important to me, what I valued the most, and I would say still to this day it's family and just being able to do something in life, being who I am as a person and being true to that person. Along with my family, I would say my happiness is up there with my priorities. It's important to put yourself first as well, because at the end of the day, this is the life that you get to live, no matter what you believe in, but in this body, in this time, in this world, what you're doing is you. That's who you are. You don't live for anybody else. You don't live for the next life, if you believe in that. Regardless if that's true or not, this life is still happening now. You're still in this body, you're still in this mind. Make something of it. Be happy now. Like, why wouldn't you get the absolute most out of it while you can? And then you can go to the next life. Happy as, you know what I mean? Basically, if you're not number one on your list of values, you probably should be. I don't mind putting it equals, you know what I mean? Family and myself. That's pretty much what I like to argue. But maybe myself a tiny bit more. And I think we have to do that. You have to be a little bit selfish. You know, your values can change over time when you grow up, but you know, there are some things that are very important, and I wouldn't like to rank them. You know, I wouldn't like to be in a situation where I had to choose. Hopefully, you know, I can have both, right? And that's something to realize. Why does everything have to be one or the other? Why can't we have both in some situations? Why can't we compromise stuff? I admit my values used to be a little bit different when I was 13. You know, I'm not ashamed of that. I didn't know any better. I was pretty sheltered. I had no idea of drama that went on in the world. I'm pretty sure the first time I was introduced to international and news was probably when 9/11 happened, and from then on, obviously, we've all seen what's happened since then, with war and a lot of violence since then, which I'm not going to get into in this video. If they were your values, have no fear. I'm sure by now they've changed. I mean, if you're watching this video, I'm sure they've changed from materialistic things to more, you know, what's that word? Sentimental values is the word I'm looking for. Oops. But yeah, just by looking at different points of view, and this goes back to my being open-minded point, you know, if you're just taking some things in, you actually realize there are some things you do like that maybe you've never considered before. I think I've mentioned this before as well, but I watch some videos on YouTube where they go searching for gold. You know, I watch all sorts of different things on YouTube which I never thought I'd be interested in, but it's out there, and you know, you come across it and I'm like, you know, this actually isn't bad. Maybe my friends wouldn't get it. Kind of like Antique Roadshow is one of my favorite shows, and people laugh at me, but it's thoroughly entertaining. Have you seen it? Like, watch it. Really great. But I guess I kind of just want to sum it up there. Just a few little points, and like I said, these videos sometimes are going to be long, sometimes they're going to be short, sometimes they're going to be more about personal stuff, sometimes they're going to be opinions on things, sometimes controversial, sometimes observational on just your everyday sort of things that make life funny and entertaining. You got to laugh at life. That's probably the most important thing. Enjoy it. That's the whole point of this thing. Make the most of what you can do, because like I said, no matter what you believe in, you have to live this life. Try and get as much out of it as you can and enjoy it the most. It seems silly to me to not enjoy this for a particular reason, to sit in the corner or throw a tantrum at life. It just doesn't get you anywhere. So like I said, once you figure out the sort of things you enjoy doing and what you like doing and what you value and all that kind of thing, it's a little bit easier to forge a path for yourself. Anyway, that's all from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know your thoughts. I definitely would love to chat about certain things that you guys are interested in, just so I know what you guys like watching. I'm hoping, like I said, to do videos as much as I can. Probably around about 2 videos a week or something like that would be ideal. It's just the editing and doing all that kind of stuff, which really does take time. For me, I'm not very tech savvy, so I'm getting there. The editing is a work in progress. I think I put that on my page now, disclaimer, like, this is going to be a constant work in progress. And I'm not ashamed or embarrassed of that. You know, if I was just content with where I am now, I wouldn't improve. I wouldn't go anywhere. I wouldn't grow into myself. Already from my first video to now, I think I'm sort of getting the hang of this more. I'm trying to look more down the camera than looking away. I'm just an awkward person like that. So thanks again, looking forward to the next one, and peace out, guys.